This is the Dogecoin 1-month overview reading for the month of September 2023. It's currently July 15th, 2023, 5:07 p.m. Eastern Time. Dogecoin at the time of this reading is currently 0.07262 or just over 7 cents USD. The shuffle file that we're about to play was created on July 4th, 2023 at 6:47 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. So the overall theme and behavior for the month, we have a notable decline. There's a brief peak that's easily missed, at least one. It looks like there's possibly two, but there's a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels. That's multiple support levels on a multi-day kind of scale. However, it is crossed with bullish behavior where we're bumping along resistance sideways, possibly breaking through, bumping along resistance sideways. Again, it looks like we're probably not breaking through this time. We're bumping along resistance. When we take a look at the 1 year for September, it's looking like a peak at the cusp, got at the very beginning of September to a trough or mid to late month, and then out of that another peak or crest towards the end of the month. And that's looking pretty solid as far as overall chart behavior for what's going on here. We have what's very likely a highest high here somewhere in the first 4 days. I'm thinking probably around the 4th. There's a strong highest probable location of a highest high here around the 4th. And then behavior around the highest high, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance on a multi-day scale, followed by a decline through key support. And it'll be key resistance that it looks like technicals will lead us to believe that we're going to break through. But instead we have a disappointment. We turn around and we decline through key support. It's usually key support that was just falsely established prior to the failed attempt to break through resistance. Behavior around the lowest low, we have a fast sudden move higher out of the low. What's interesting, when we look at the 1 year, the September cluster, there's a fast sudden move higher taking us into the high. Same card for the lowest low correlator here in September. So there's a very strong possibility that we go from a low to a high pretty quickly, from a fast sudden move higher out of a low into a high. It's possible. We'll have to see when we get into more detail on the chart behavior. But before we do that, I want to take a look, see how we're doing in July thus far. So in July, we had a halting of a bullish trend marked by a sharp decline through key support. We have highest highs somewhere at the beginning of the month. It looks like two highest highs, one on the 2nd, one on the 6th. But as far as the chart behavior, we have a high here and then another high here. So we're a little bit off on the days, but a double high followed by troughs. These were prominent troughs on the 10th, 11th. It looks like we have it on the 9th and the 11th, so we were a little bit off 10th and 11th. We have it on the 9th and 11th, but pretty solid there. Troughs followed by another possible highest high here on the 15th, and it looks like we went to a highest high here on the 12th. We've got the sequence of events pretty solid. Two tops, a trough, then another top. Then we should go into lowest lows here somewhere around 17th, and then probably even more so around the 22nd to the 24th where we see lowest lows again. But this is looking pretty solid as far as sequence of events. There's a sneak preview in the August cluster for the moon card. So the moon card stands out as pretty significant here. It's got the unicursal here. So this is a pretty significant drop here. I think we probably do back and forth through the second half of the month after we hit the low. We might hit the low again. And then there's these peaks that could be highest highs, more likely just to be prominent highs, like new highest highs after the lowest low. So the highest high for the month would be here. And then these would be highest highs after the low. So not for the month, but after the low, they'll be the highest highs here on the 21st and the 27th. All right, so let's get into it. On the 1st, we have a rally that offers an opportunity to open up a short position. We'll talk about it in more detail in the paid version. On the 2nd, a lot of price change. There could be quite a lot of volatility. It's very mixed on the 2nd. And then on the 3rd, we have a prominent crest and a prominent peak. So a lot of price change on the 3rd. A decline that offers an opportunity to trade. We'll talk about that in more detail in the paid version. There's actually a day trade opportunity there around the 3rd. On the 4th, another rally offering opportunity to trade. And then a fast sudden move higher taking us to probably a highest high there early in the day on the 4th, followed by a decline there towards the cusp of the 4th, 5th. There's a support level that's highlighted on the 5th that can be relied upon. Looks like an important trough there around the cusp of the 4th, 5th, and the cusp of the 5th, 6th, probably twice there. So on the 6th, there's declining through multiple support levels. So we may do a little bit of a move to the upside around the cusp of the 5th, 6th, out of a trough, and then back into a trough on the 6th. So matter of fact, it looks like rally on the 4th into highest high, decline to a trough on the cusp of the 4th, 5th, and and then a move higher into the cusp of the 5th, 6th, and then another decline. Probably that same trough around mid to late 6th. It's same trough price level probably as we saw around the cusp of the 4th, 5th. There's an important price level on the 6th highlighted, an important technical price level, important on a probably on a year-to-date scale. So it is possible that we see another highest high there on the 7th. It's less likely than on the 4th, but it is possible. I think it's probably on the 4th though. An important price level there on the 7th there that's highlighted, and 3 pokes through the same price level on the 8th, followed by a sharp drop taking us to an important trough on the 8th, 9th. A notable trade opportunity that'll stand out on the 9th there. That'll stand out amongst other trade opportunities throughout the month. Looks like we move to the upside towards the end of the day on the 9th, and we have a peak or crest. It's a peak or crest that you could trade at around the cusp of the 9th, 10th. And then we decline pretty notably there into the morning of the 10th, where we have a rally out of that decline throughout the 10th into another peak or crest there on the cusp of the 10th, 11th. But then a lot of price changes covered to the downside on the 11th. A lot of ground is covered and an important support level highlighted there on the 11th on a multi-day kind of scale. It's possible that we see our lowest low thus far there around the cusp of the 11th or 12th, and then there's a rally out of that on the 12th along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance to meet a second resistance before pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. A pretty sharp drop on the cusp of the 12th, 13th. Multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance on the 13th. And then an overbought peak or crest on the 14th that we sell off from pretty notably through multiple support levels into a trough on the 15th. There's notable trade opportunities on the 14th and 15th as well that we'll talk about in the paid version. My friends, the way that you get the paid version is a really great way to support the channel. You do so here on our services. As so meta posts on our website, Tarot for Traders. Scroll down to monthly subscriptions. Click here to order. Specify the ticker or crypto symbol you're interested in subscribing to. It really helps out the channel. If you're interested in seeing best trades that we see for the month for multiple cryptos and tickers that you see here, highly recommend ordering the 250 subscription because that gets you access to all of the paid content. And if there's any relevant multi-year or multi-month trades as well, we'll talk about it from those time scales as well. I mean, that's what you get for the paid version. It's usually between 3 to 8 additional minutes of content at the end of the video. An important trough or possible lowest low there on the 15th with a prominent move higher and then a full retracement of that move back down. Most likely location of a highest high here on the cusp of the 15th, 16th, and a big move higher out of that lowest low, which gives me more reason to believe that there's a lowest low there based on the swiftness card being the behavior around the low. So we have this big move to the upside, one of the biggest moves for the month to the upside here, out of the lowest low on the cusp of the 15th, 16th. Big move to the upside on the 16th to a prominent crest or peak on a multi-day scale, and then we're bound by the upper end of a range there. We may push the upper end of a range higher momentarily or briefly on the 16th, but we're bound by a range on the 17th. Prominent trough on the 17th again. There's price swings there. It looks like we probably revisit that low again that we saw on the cusp of the 15th, 16th. We'll probably revisit that low again on the 17th with a big price swing in between where we go from a low to a peak on the 16th to a low on the 17th. Possibly another crest there actually early morning on the 18th that we sell off from down to and through support. We do a U-shaped reversal below support and then come back and reuse it as support. On the 19th, we rally into a key resistance on a multi-day scale that we then sell off from with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. We're bumping up against resistance on the 19th, 20th. We may break through resistance momentarily on the 20th with like a temporary breakout, but then we sell off from a prominent peak or crest around the 20th, 21st. We sell off through multiple support levels. On the 21st, notable decline through multiple support levels. On the 22nd, there may be a little bit of like a move back early in the day on the 22nd, but we're really seeing significant decline on the 21st, 22nd, into the 23rd, even the 24th. This is the highest probable location of a lowest low here around the 24th, 25th. And maybe that we saw it on the 15th and the 17th, and then we rally pretty notably here into the 20th, 21st, and then we decline pretty hard into the 24th, 25th to see it again. Or we see a lower price level here on the 24th, 25th as well. If it's the same low, then it's possible that we have a highest high again here on the 21st and the 27th. They're going to be prominent highs, very likely the same price level here on the 21st, 22nd as the 27th. But if these are lowest lows on the 15th and the 17th and the same low on the 24th, 25th, then these are likely going to be highest highs. If this is a lowest low on the 24th, 25th, i.e. lower than than what we see on the 15th, 17th, then these peaks are probably not highest highs, but they're going to be prominent peaks that stand out, probably highest highs since the lowest low. And so we'll have price swings back and forth. There is a significant decline here on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. A lot of price swinging here around the 24th, 25th with big moves off of the lows as well. Another indication of lowest lows as indicated by the fast sudden move higher off the low as the significator card. On the 25th, we had 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the string price level, confirming a bullish trend. That becomes more like price swings with a fast sudden move higher early in the day, possibly a breakout early in the day on the 26th. But there's back and forth behavior there on the 26th into the 27th with erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. Another prominent peak or crest there on the 26th, depending on how price levels have played out throughout the second part of the month. Could be a highest high or just a prominent peak or crest that's revisited. Either way, we're revisiting a price level that we saw there around the 21st, 22nd. Volatility on the 28th and a sharp drop that stands out in that period of volatility, and then a big move to the upside on the 29th, reaching for distant resistance towards the cusp of the 29th, 30th. And on the 30th, we have sideways rotation, a big move higher, and then more sideways rotation at a higher price level. The sneak preview for the following month, there's a notable U-shaped dip that'll stand out on a multi-day scale that forms between the intersection of 2 perpendicular diagonal trend lines. That's Dogecoin for September 2023. If you haven't done so, guys, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel to do so. So if you like the channel, please do that. And most importantly, make sure to follow that rule of karma. It's a really important part of the channel. We expect that people are donating 5% of the profits forward to one of the charities here on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, and 5% of the profits back to the channel. Thank you very much for all those angel investors out there following the rule of karma, and make sure to spend that 90% left over out of love. As long as you do that, my friends, the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold through this channel. If you got the paid version, hang tight. We're going to get into that momentarily. Stay tuned if you got that, guys. And thank you to all my angel investors following that rule of karma. I'll see you guys on the next one.